I'm in the top 0.05 of Taylor Swift listeners. Congratulations, right? You're probably the same, and this means you and we're all part of what we call the monoculture. Spotify Wraps frames that as your unique personality, but when 200 million people have the exact same personality that get a message from Taylor Swift, is it yours? Or is it just really effective data monitoring? It's the only day of the year where we voluntarily post a receipt of exactly how much corporation spied on us, right? And we treat it like a personality, just like, look, this is so cool. Today I'm gonna ask you a few simple things, and the main question for today will be, is your taste real? Or did the algorithm just bully you into submission? Because your listening personality is complicit. Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode here for the fun about mindful media and communication and music and Taylor Swift. Okay, elephant in the room. I'm not the biggest Swiftie. However, what I'm explaining today also works for anything else. You might be in the top 0.01% of Joe Rogan podcast listening bros, yo. And you got a personal message from Joe Rogan. I got one too, because while I don't listen to that many episodes, if you listen to an episode, the episodes are 3 hours long, so chances are he's still your top podcaster. Same thing, right? So I just picked Taylor because, well, it's Taylor. As always, when we discuss all those different things, like why does something happen the way it happens, I brought you 3 theories that I quickly explained. Then I'm gonna put my spin on it, try to explain a little bit more like why it's happening, what we can do about it, and maybe also some takeaways, because I know it's the holiday season, but still maybe learning and improving shouldn't stop just because we're in a holiday season, right? Okay, if you're not feeling like a holiday season mood, I'm with you. The holidays, but hey, we're getting through this together. Okay, so let's go. So first concept I'm bringing to you, and I feel like I'm also making this podcast into some sort of a French for beginners class, because every other media scholar I bring to you is a French dude, right? There must be something to it. Why in the 19th century so many French people went into media and communication research? I mean, if you know the language, you know they have to research how to communicate. Hey, so Pierre Bourdieu, what did he say? He talked about distinction. He talked about what he called cultural capital. Okay, so for us, when we talk about the Spotify Wrapped, right, we can see that why do we post it? Why do we want to share what we listen to? That we're the 0.01% of whatever, of Swifties. It's kind of like a flex, right? Just a little bit. Like, look, I spend that much time self-improving with Joe Rogan, for example, or feeling better listening to Taylor Swift. So you're not sharing just music or podcasts, you're signaling status. And that's cultural capital. So Pierre Bourdieu talked about, like, we share those things because we want to make a statement. Okay, so that's cultural capital. So in this case, and I'm gonna borrow like a term from something else in a second. In this case, we use Spotify Wrapped or Apple Play and YouTube. You know it. So we use it to curate the museum of self. If you don't know that term, check it out. It's a very cool and smart reference right now. So you post obscure stats, artists, and you're trying to claim like high cultural capital. Now, why? Because, hey, I'm unique. I'm sophisticated. I listen to the Smiths still, for example, because I have a shirt of them from H&M. if you post Taylor Swift, you're signaling social capital. Like, okay, I'm part of the tribe. We are all Swifties. We're to be together. Okay, it's performative taste. Yes, sorry to break it to you. You're not unique. I mean, you are to your mother, but other than that, so we don't listen to listen. We listen to post. Is what I'm saying. It's actually what Pierre Bourdieu is saying. I'm just saying that he was right. Okay, so that's cultural capital. We post, we share those things for a reason. Okay. Now, the second theory I brought to you is one of the theories I use a lot right now for my upcoming book, which is titled Reality in Better. Check it out. realityinbetter.com, @realityinbetter on Instagram. Follow, share. They will be published in 2026. So I lean on a lot on Shoshana Zuboff, who talked about the age of surveillance capitalism. Okay, so she's talking about why we give in into behavioral capitalism and surveillance capitalism, sorry, and she talks about like behavioral surplus. What does it mean, behavioral surplus, right? So meaning what we have right now with Spotify Wrapped is not necessarily just a feature that's cool. It's actually a receipt for Spotify to increase their engagement, increase usage rate, make people sign up, make people share, blah, all those things, right? So what Spotify does is basically it takes your raw data, what you skipped, what you looped at 3 a.m. when you were sad and binge eating cold pizza, because cold pizza is awesome, and packages all the things that you did, and you know you did them, and it packages it and gives it back to you like, look what you did. Like, I mean, you know what you did, right? But hey, nice. But it's the genius of surveillance, right? And in this case, surveillance capitalism, because they're making money with it. It makes the user enjoy being tracked. It's like we talk about like privacy and hiding or closing the camera on our laptops, and then we're giving away everything and like, hey, look, Spotify tracked everything I did. Nice, so cool. Everybody in the world, look at it. Look at what I did. Huh? And we're all enjoying it. But that's ingenuity by Spotify. It's great. And now all the big platforms follow it, right? Spotify came up with it, and now they're all doing it. YouTube does it, Apple Music does it, whatever service you're using, they all do a rap right now. So you're basically doing the marketing for them by sharing it, right? And you share it, and by sharing it, you celebrate their data mining, them mining your data. And you're paying for it, because quite likely you're having a premium Spotify premium subscription anyways. Wow. How does this make us feel this holiday season? Cheerful? Well, if you're still in a cheery holiday mood, let me ruin it with the third theory, which is an old friend of ours. We talked about him before. We talked about him and like his colleagues from the Glasgow School, formerly the Frankfurt School. Theodor Adorno, German guy. Hey, not only French guys, right? And he talked about the culture industry. We had this before a little bit. We touched on it a little bit. And in this whole concept of the culture industry, he focuses on a few particulars, one being the pseudo-individuality. Okay, so we try to be individual, but not really. Because in this example of Spotify, in this application here, you think you chose the song you listened to? That's cute. So Adorno argued that mass culture, and he's, I said in the last podcast, if you YouTube Theodor Adorno, you will see interviews of his, like all black and white, grainy, so it's like 19 something, right? So early on. And even then he argued that mass culture gives the illusion of choice, but everything is standardized. So you think you're picking something, but everything is done pop music that are based on your likes, on what you're about, and so on. That listening age that everyone's posting right now, or the audio era, they're just random statements, like wake astrology, if you will. Okay, they're designed to make you feel special, while feeding you the same top 50 hits that fits everybody else. Okay, those are the theories. Here comes the rant. You ready? Okay, now we learned something. Now let's apply it and maybe understand a little bit more, right? So, what I said earlier, you're basically doing marketing for Spotify, right? Cool. Surveillance capitalism. Okay. So basically what it is like the free labor of marketing because you're doing the work for Spotify while also paying money to Spotify to use it. Like that's how they can afford to sponsor Barcelona, for example. So Spotify doesn't need a marketing budget generally, probably, but in December even less so because we are the marketing department, which means we create the FOMO. We create that fear of missing out because everyone's posting it like, I want to post it too. I want to post it too. And if you use Apple Music, just like me, because I quit Spotify 3 months ago, you kind of feel, right now, I feel a bit excluded. Yes, Apple Music has a replay, whatever, too. They even do it monthly, which is nice, but it's nowhere near as cool, as culty, as fun as the Spotify Wrapped one. It's basically that green bubble effect of music, if you will. All right? Americans know what I mean. The rest, a bit more sophisticated, we don't care. we don't use iMessages. It's still called iMessage actually anymore anyways. But by posting your Wrapped, you're enforcing the platform's monopoly basically through peer pressure. And you can say what you want. We are all individuals. We know that peer pressure always works. And now there's this listening age feature that everyone's posting right now, right? So this is, if you don't know, it's a new feature that tells you your listening age. It tells you like your music taste is geriatric or your music taste is toddler or whatever it might be, right? Great. Mine is actually 2 years younger than my actual age. Hey, nice. That's complete, it's a nagging tactic. That's like a pickup artist tactic applied to tech right now, right? The app kind of like insults you. You're like, hey, you listen like a divorced dad in your 40s, which triggers an emotional response, which then in return makes you share it to either defend yourself or appreciate it. That's complete engagement bait. Smart. Great addition. Very smart. I'm losing my voice while I'm raging about the rage bait, the clickbait, engagement bait. But yes, that's it. And now I tone it down for a second because now the serious part. This leads to something. The fact that we're all on Spotify sharing all our data with it and that we are so willingly accept what the algorithm shows us. This leads to something that I want to call like the homogenization. I use the word all the time in research and I never say it out loud. Homogenation, right? I think so. We call it the homogenation right now, okay? The homogenation of taste. Use this word in all of my research papers right now, and I never say it out loud. Interesting. The homogenation of taste. Okay, so what do I mean? Well, why are songs getting shorter? Because we have no attention span. So rap rewards you for your total streams. How many songs did you stream? Right? Or how many songs of you have been streamed if you're an artist? So to get better stats, users and artists, they prioritize short, loopable music. So the metric dictates the art. So we are listening to content, not to music. It's pissing me off. Okay, last thing here, okay? I promise, then I tone down the rant. There's one thing that we discussed on the podcast too a few times before, and it's something that I see, at least right now, not being discussed as much anymore. We call it like, the private self versus the public self, the front stage persona, the backstage persona. Call it what you want, okay? So it's about the things that we don't post, for example, because everybody posts their cool top 5, okay? But no one posts the brown noise for sleep playlist or whatever, or the divorce therapy podcast, for example, that they actually listen to for like 5,000 minutes straight. Yeah, we sanitize the data before we perform it, and that's the public self. And eventually, if we perform more and we put the public self always on the front foot and it's always in the spotlight, eventually we kind of ignore the private self. And the public self is what we compare our own selves to. We compare ourselves to the actual picture of ourselves that we're putting out there. We're like, I should be like that. I posted I'm Joe Rogan, bro, let's go. No offense. So I have to be like that. I can't listen to meaningful stuff. No offense to Joe Rogan. So that's a problem. If you compare yourself to the ideal picture of yourself that you are portraying, and then you try to only be like that, and then you ignore your own feelings, your own mental health, for example. And that's something that Joe Rogan and Taylor Swift maybe should be also a bit more mindful of. And that's how we close it for today with the appeal to Joe Rogan, Taylor Swift, because I know you're listening to this podcast or you're watching me on YouTube. Taylor, Joe, be more mindful and don't promote the public self too much. Let the people have their private selves too. Let me know how you feel about all of that. Did you post your rap already? Are you participating in celebrating data espionage and paying for it yourself? Shout out in the comments. Give me a follow, that would be cool. It's the @funkitpod on social media. Or if you're interested in my book, @Reality and Better, check it out also on social media, or realityinbeta.com, the website. Will drop in 2026. Until then, stay safe, take care, enjoy the holiday season any way possible, and we will talk soon. Sawadee ka.